Welcome to Backroads DIY. In this video, we're going to cover each of the 6 settings here on this Intex sand filter in front of us. I'm going to try to keep this video short and to the point. Before we get started though, I do want to make sure that we have our pump turned off. Anytime you're going to turn this handle and change any of the settings, you want to make sure that pump is off. There is a rubber valve in here, and if the pump is on, you do risk possibly dislodging that or damaging it. So our pump is already off, and the first setting we're going to talk about is going to be our filter setting. So the filter setting is going to be the primary setting that you use on general everyday use. The way that this works is water comes in to your skimmer or your filter lines and then runs down into your pipe, down into the right side of your pump here, into your collection basket. This collection basket is where your large debris collects, and then water comes through here. The pump pushes it up through the pipe, and that comes over into our sand filter tank here. The water then gets pushed down into the sand media, and as it works its way down, all the contaminants, debris, oils get filtered out by that sand, and as the water gets to the bottom, it's clean. It gets sucked up by a bunch of small little pipes that then push that water back up to the top of the tank. And then the water comes out of our return valve here and then comes up and goes back into our return on our pool. Okay. Next setting we're going to cover is going to be our waste setting. So I typically use this waste setting whenever I am vacuuming my pool. It can also be used to lower the water level in your pool. So maybe you overfilled the pool or you have a lot of rain, you need to lower that water level, you can use this setting. So what this does is water still comes in through the normal channels up through our pump, but instead of going down into our sand, it comes out of this drain right here. So before you turn the pump on, you would make sure that this cap is turned off. There's also a rubber gasket inside of here. You want to take that out as well, because once you turn that pump back on, this water coming out will have quite a bit of pressure to it, and you do risk pushing that rubber gasket out and possibly losing it. Okay. After waste, we will go to closed. So I don't use this setting very often, but what I do use it for is after I've done a waste or a rinse cycle, which I'll talk about here in a minute, water continues to come out of this drain. Even though your pump is turned off, water still trickles out of here. But when you move it over to the closed, it will completely stop all water flow. So then when you're done either with your waste or your rinse, you turn it to closed, and that gives you time to be able to put your rubber washer back in and put your cap back on. Our next setting is going to be the backwash. I'm planning on doing a video, which I'll link in the description, on the complete process to backwash. But briefly to cover this, what happens is instead of your water coming through your sand filter the normal way from top to bottom, it reverses the water flow, and water will come up through the bottom. It agitates that sand, pushes it all around, gets that debris out, and then that water comes up and again comes out through our drain port. So you want to make sure that you take the drain cap off. And once you turn that pump back on, you'll notice that the water coming out is cloudy. You can also see that here in your sight glass. And typically I run my backwash for about a minute or two, or until the water coming out runs clear, or that I can see that it's clear in the sight bubble. I will typically backwash either weekly or bi-weekly, kind of just depends on the use that my pool gets. And here on the side, you can also see a pressure regulator. You want it to be in the green. If it's in the yellow, it's generally time to backwash, and definitely if you see it get into the red, you need a backwash. Okay. Next setting we're going to talk about is going to be the rinse. We're going to skip recirculate for now. So after you backwash, you always want to rinse. As I said before, the backwash agitates that sand, pushes it all around, gets all that debris out, but you need to re-level that sand. So that's what rinse does. Rinse makes the water go back the correct direction from top to bottom. It levels out that sand, it pushes out any remaining debris. That water still comes out of your drain valve here. And you want to run your rinse cycle for about 30 seconds to a minute. Once you're done with your rinse cycle, you'll turn your pump back off, and generally you're ready to go back to the filter. Lastly, we're going to talk about the Recirculate. What Recirculate does is it brings the water in through the pump, but instead of going down to the tank or out our drain, it just goes right back to the pool return. So this gets used if you want to add either chlorine or bromine tabs to your collection basket. You can turn the pump off, put your tabs in here, put it on Recirculate, and that just takes the water out of your pool and puts it right back in without going through your sand filter. Okay, I believe that covers everything there. Hope that explains all the settings better. And if you found this video informative and helpful, we'd appreciate if you support our channel by liking this video and subscribing. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comments and we'll try to respond. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.